Hi friends, welcome to the very first episode of Mimi's Place for Parents, where you can come for support, encouragement and advice to help you raise a happy, resilient family. My name is Roselle, by the way, and I'm really excited to start this new vlog YouTube channel with you because it's about something that I feel very passionate about, and that is raising happy, resilient families. When I look at comments and posts on social media, I notice that there are a lot of families that are struggling, and that pains me. And I really hope that this channel can be a place where you, the parent, can come and receive encouragement and support, as I mentioned in our introduction, and just be there to discuss how we can help one another raise happy, resilient families. My qualifications: I'm a mother of 27 going on 28 years. I'm not a psychologist expert at all, but I have put into practice what I believe is the key to raising a resilient family. And so that's what we're going to be discussing in this first episode. If that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. I really do hope that as we go on with this series on our YouTube channel, that we'll be able to discuss topics around this key that I'm going to be talking about in a minute that will help you. This is for you, the parent. I have experience, that's really what I'm here to share with you, and I do hope to have my children on and friends that can also share in this conversation. So if you have comments or if you have topics that you'd like to discuss, I would love to hear from you. Put them down in the comments section below, and we will do our best to answer your questions. This is a forum of discussion, and I really hope that it can be a positive, uplifting place. We can all come and feel safe and feel at home. So let's get into the first topic of discussion, which is what I believe is the key, or what has helped us as a family in raising a resilient family, and that is principle-based parenting. What is principle-based parenting? Well, it's basically what it sounds like. It's parenting based on principles. How does this work? Well, there's 3 core actions on how to parent this way. First of all, you need to be intentional. So intentional meaning you have to have a plan of action as to how you want your children to turn out. And I know that probably sounds a bit strange, but honestly, if you want a successful anything in this life, you need to plan and prepare and execute, and that goes with the family as well. Your children are the most precious things that you possess, and they are, I don't have to tell you how much you love them, and I know you want the very best for your children. That goes without saying, and only a parent can understand that. So you have to be intentional about how you parent your children. Secondly, it's the principles that govern how you parent. And so the first thing that you need to do, if this is something that sounds interesting, is first of all identify what your values are. That's the first thing that you need to do. Once you've identified your values or principles, then you need to define them. For example, one of our core values or principles that we used for our parenting was responsibility and accountability. And as what I really love about principle-based parenting is that principles are universal. They relate to everyone. It doesn't matter what your religion is or if you have a religion at all. They're universal values or principles. And the other great thing about principle-based parenting is that the practice or the application looks different for everyone. And here's my example that I alluded to earlier. So for example, responsibility and accountability were a core value that we wanted to pass on to our children. And so how did we do that? Well, one of the things that my husband and I decided was that when our kids were about 11 or 12, they would be responsible for their own laundry. So what did we do? We taught them how to use the washing machine. We taught them how to use the dryer. And then when the time came, we said, okay, this is your responsibility. Mum is no longer going to do your laundry. And so that way they were able to learn accountability and responsibility for something of their own. If there was something they needed clothing for and they had dirty clothing, it was their responsibility to make sure that those clothes were clean. And so that was a really great way that we taught our children accountability and responsibility. Now that is an example. You might choose something completely different that works for you, in your family, in your home. So that's why we really loved still love, because I've still got kids at home, principle-based parenting. And so I will go into that a little bit as we go through this series. I'm not really going to stay there today, but that's a very brief overview, and we will come back to it from time to time as we discuss issues, because it always comes back to principles. What is the core principle or value of resilient-based parenting? Love. Out of all the values, that is the most important in our home. What does that look like? That is something that you will need to define for yourself. But for us is that we always check to see if we are motivated by love. And that is something that we practice and try to practice every day. We're not perfect at it, we make mistakes, but that is something that is important to us and for our children as well. Okay, so the next question or discussion point was what I believe is the key to a thriving parent-child relationship. And that key is trust. Without trust, you don't have a good relationship. And so if that is an interesting thing to you, maybe you might be struggling with your children, maybe that is an issue that you have, stay tuned for our next episode, because I'm going to go into depth of what that actually means. What does it mean to have trust between a parent and a child, and what can you do to increase that trust between you and your child? So thank you for watching our very first episode of Mimi's Place for Parents Raising Resilient Families. I really, really hope that we can go on this journey together. I'm excited to hear from you. If you have questions or comments, we'd love you to leave them in the box below. Also, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. That's the way we're going to grow and get our message out there. And until next time, love to you and your family as you raise a resilient family. Thanks. Bye.